Hey guys, I'm Fancy, and you're watching the Good Wives Network, and we're back with a brand new episode of Rise and Grind. Alrighty, guys, good morning, good morning, good morning. Let me put in a little banner here. We're talking about Crystal Rogers and Tommy Ballard today. These are local to me. These are from Bardstown, Kentucky, and they are about a 30-minute jaunt from me. So it's not very far. And it's not very far from us. It's about 30 minutes away from Louisville. It's a small town. It's where a lot of the whiskey trail starts, and a lot of that is in that area. So if you've ever come down and done the Bourbon Trail, that's what it really is, the Bourbon Trail. It's where the Bourbon Trail is, and it's a cute little town. It's called it's called the best littlest town in all of America or something like that. It's got its cute little name. But anyway, there's a series of murders in this town, and three of them they believe to be connected. Now there is another case, a fourth case that some people think are connected. I have found no connections whatsoever yet. I went down there when the FBI got involved for the second time, I believe, during the pandemic. And I went down and we talked to a lot of different people. I interviewed people in the neighborhoods. I talked to different people in the community. And I do feel that this specific case is not tied to the murders of the mother and the daughter that were in this town. But anyway, going off of this, I want to read the original. So I'm going to show you guys the original stuff. I'm going to look through a couple different things here. Crystal Rogers FBI, though. Here we go. So this is the official Crystal Rogers FBI report. We have the poster here as well. This is Crystal right here. And it started on July 5th of 2015. Crystal Rogers was reported missing by her mother after she had not been seen or heard from since the evening of July 3rd, 2015. The same day Rogers was reported missing, her car was found abandoned with a flat tire at mile marker 14 on the Bluegrass Parkway in Bardstown, Kentucky. We went out there, my husband and I, we taped on that. We taped right there in front of the sign where her car would have been. Rogers' keys, phone, and purse were still inside her red Chevrolet Impala. She is the mother of 5 children and is not known to go anywhere without her children. One of them she does share with the suspected killer, which is her ex-man, Brooks Hauk. So on November 9th, 2016, if it wasn't tragic enough that Rogers, that they lose their daughter, then Tommy Ballard, her father, is shot and killed on a family property near Bluegrass Parkway in Bardstown, Kentucky. And they are beginning to, through news reports, link that to Brooks Hauk's brother, Nick, who was a police officer at the time and who was let go for tampering with evidence in this case. And that was a long time ago, took forever. So this is Tommy down here. That's Tommy. There's a $10,000 reward for information leading to the identification, arrest, and conviction of individuals responsible for the homicide of Tommy. After his daughter Crystal Rogers disappeared in July 2015, Tommy Ballard created Team Crystal, a group of Bardstown, Kentucky community members dedicated to finding Crystal and bringing her home. On the morning of November 19th, 2016, 16 months after Crystal's disappearance, Ballard was preparing for a hunting trip with his 12-year-old grandson on family property next to the Bluegrass Parkway in Bardstown, Kentucky, and an unknown subject fired one shot and hit Ballard in the chest and instantly killed him. So, guys, what I'm going to tell you about this is that shot that was made for Tommy was, hi guys, that shot was a shot that only a trained expert could have made. It was a long shot. It was through brush and woods and everything else. And they believe that they were hiding in the bush area for Tommy to come out into the area that he was shot in. And it was one shot and he was done. And that's substantial for one shot to take you out like that. It had to be a good shot. So I have been on this case for quite a while. I saw it when it broke originally. And then when the FBI took over, I think they took over a couple years back. It was probably 2021 or 2022. Craig and I went down to Bardstown. We filmed a lot of different things around the area. I can't find all of my filmings for some reason, but there is also a third murder that we believe is tied to this, and that is the detective Officer Ellis. And his was a very interesting. He was ambushed coming off of the freeway on an on-ramp or off-ramp that they would have needed to know that he was going to be there. So it was somebody who was familiar with his schedule, and he was coming around the bend. And I don't remember what exactly happened with that. I'll have to look for it some more. Good morning, guys. Good morning. Here's my little morning cup. I do not care. I am in my bathrobe because this is our morning show. But anyway, these are going to be available today. You can get my Donut Care. I just designed these. I made these. They're super cute. You can get my Donut Care coffee mug. We are also going to be having a special on the coffee that I personally have in my inventory. So I'm going to be clearing it all out to get new inventory for our coffee. So you guys can get some bags. I haven't decided exactly what I'm going to do with that, but they should be up by the end of the day too on the goodwivesnetwork.com. So let me go ahead. Hey guys, good morning. Good morning. If you guys are wanting to follow along, check us out at thegoodwivesnetwork.com for awesome merch and more details. We have a blog over there. You can find out more about our company and the different content creators that are going to be coming to the Good Wives Network. Our Patreon membership club is where you can get all the inside documents and information of the cases, any photos that we put up, anything like that. We generally drop in there for you guys to go ahead and look through the case files and anything we have. Currently, we do have a link in there to all of the Crystal Rogers documents that I'm going to go through today with you. And we will be updating that as we go on and on with this case because it is currently in the court systems right now. So you can do that. Also, quickly, by Sunday, we will have an announcement about the Gypsy Rose case and some discoveries that we have made. We will be releasing some of the medical files due to some of the things that we have found. Colleen and I have been working very hard to bring this case home, to finish it off because it's time. After 8 years of investigating this case, of having personal contact with the families of both Nicholas and Gypsy, and having, dealings with the media, social media, and all of that, we are finally at a point that we think we can bring this case to you in as much of a detailed and accurate telling as anyone has ever seen. It's a complex case, obviously. We have teased out a lot over the years. We've put out a lot of information over the years. I do highly recommend that you listen to The Good Wives Guide to True Crime podcast. It's on all major podcast players. The first season is dedicated all to Gypsy Rose and that case. And then our second season is pretty interesting. We have a lot of deep dives with different professionals in the industry that are, with each different case, we bring on an interview of some sort. Each case is 3 to 4 episodes long, and then a bonus episode. So definitely check all that out. We will be returning for season 3. We will be going over Christian Longo and Chris Watts. Now, we've already done Longo. It was the first 4 episodes that we did. We did those with Christina. She was still here with us then. But we are going to take a look at an idea that our friend Sarah brought us of Chris Watts possibly copycatting Christian Longo. And I think that it absolutely is a possibility that he knew about the Longo case and drew inspiration from the Longo case. They are super similar, more similar than just your regular family annihilator cases. So we're going to be doing those. And then obviously we're going to be working on the book and the documentary. I am so excited about this. We will have the Good Wives Guide to True Crime Season 1 book out by April 1st. I am really excited about this. April 1st is Christina's birthday, our beloved Christina. So we are rushing to get that transcribed and ready and out and add some details to it of what we are doing now that we are moving into the documentary and the second book that we'll be releasing, which will be It's All a Distraction: Inside the Lies, the Crimes, and the Murder of Dee Dee Blanchard, along with our documentary that we will be working on called Gypsy Rose and Nick, America's Sweetheart Murderers. So we've got all that working. So today, though, what I want to go through with you, there, now you guys can see me better. I want to go through with you the case of Crystal Rogers and Tommy Ballard. And thank you very much, Alicia. And so we're going to start with Steve Lawson, who is the first person that was actually arrested in this case, the Crystal Rogers case. And I'm going to go through these different pieces with you. Let me stop my screen. Let me present my screen. And let's see here. Hold on. Hold on. Cancel. Alrighty. Hold on. Okay. So we're going to start with Steve Lawson. Okay, so I'm going to put this right here. And then I should be able to find it real easy. Okay. Yes, there we go. All right. And this drive file is available in our Patreon. It's patreon.com, goodwivesnet. Alrighty, so let's see here. I'm going to go down, and I don't know if these are in particular order, so let's just start to look here. That's change of venue. Let's see here. Change of venue. Down here so you guys can see. Change of venue. Let's see what this one is. Okay, that's that one. Okay, so that is 1/9/2024. Let's see here. Courtroom distractions. Free trial hearing. 3/11/2024. Okay. So let's start here. So on the 21st day of December 2023, so this is for Stephen Eugene Lawson, and he is listed in here. He was the very first arrest they made. And so he's coming before the court for arraignment on the 21st day of December 2023. It tells you which judge is residing, that there is a bond hearing on 4/24. The indictment was waived by the defendant, and bond was set at same with conditions stamped on the indictment. So basically, see if it goes any further into detail to let us know. No. Okay. So, but that's the indictment. So that's the first one that came through. Let's see what this is. Oh, okay. So this is him wanting to be his bail, but I'm trying to find if we have the first. Nope. And these are all public records, by the way, just so you guys know. Okay, so here is when he first came in September of 2023. So this is the original arraignment. They're ordering him to pay a public defender fee of $200. And let's see, he effected following which the court entered a plea of not guilty on the record. The bond was set at same with conditions stamped on the indictment. So again, this is just the arraignment here. Warrant of arrest. All right, here we go. Fantastic. Commanded to arrest the above named defendant and bring her forth before the court, Circuit Nelson County Court. And he was originally indicted under the 524.100. Name of the offense is tampering with physical evidence. His bond was set at $50,000, secured by cash only. Here are the actual charges. The grand jury charges count 1. On July 3rd, 2015 and or July 4th, 2015 in Nelson County, Kentucky, the above named defendant acting alone or in complicity with others committed the offense of tampering with physical evidence when he destroyed, mutilates, concealed, removed, or alters physical evidence which he believes is about to be produced or used in an official proceeding with intent to impair its verity or availability in the official proceeding of fabricated any physical evidence with the intent that it be introduced in the official proceeding. That is by Special Agent Steve Curie of the FBI. They set the bail at $50,000. Crap. One moment, please. Hello. Sorry about that, folks. All right, let's see. So, yes, I've heard of Chris Coleman. Yep. Okay, and so, guys, we are talking this morning about Tommy Ballard and Crystal Rogers, 2 murders out of Bardstown, Kentucky. There may also be Detective Ellis, our Officer Ellis, that is involved with this series of murders. Okay, so this is the first thing that was entered. This was tampering of witness, tampering of evidence by a Joseph L. Lawson. Okay, so now I can't remember, and I'll have to look it up when I do the full report on this because I just wanted to go through the documents today. I can't remember if Steve Lawson is the one who worked for Brooks Houck or if his son is who worked for Brooks Houck. We have both of them involved in this. This was a family-run business. It was a construction business, and they dug up at one point in time. They dug up different yards down there. They were looking for her body. I have yet to hear that they have found the body, but this does talk about tampering with the body. And so I'm wondering if that's just a blanket statement that they're using, or if that is actually that they have the body now and are talking about what tampering with it. I'm not sure. But this happened in 2015. It was on the on July 4th. On July 3rd, nobody saw her. After July 3rd, her car was then found abandoned on the 5th on the side of the highway. And the only suspect ever really was the boyfriend. I think they were just boyfriend and girlfriend. They shared a child, one child together. Crystal was a mother of 5 children, the youngest being with Brooks, her boyfriend / husband, fiance, whatever the heck it was. And I will have more details about this when I sit down and actually cover it from start to finish. I just kind of wanted to go through these documents today with you because we got a lot of them in today. So that's what we're doing. We are looking at the documents in the Crystal Rogers Tommy Ballard murder case out of Bardstown, Kentucky in July of 2015. On the July 4th weekend is when Crystal is murdered or disappears. And then 1 year later, her father was out to go to a hunting excursion on the family's property and was gunned down with one shot to his chest in front of his 12-year-old grandson. Nice of them, right? Totally nice of them. Completely. So, going back to these documents. Let's go here. Alrighty, so that was the one we were on here. This is 1024. Let's see if this is the disqualification. So they're trying to get, oh, that's Brooks House. Sorry. Hold on. Let me go back up in here. I wanted to start with Stephen Lawson. So why is that one in here? That should go back over there. Sorry. We're starting with Stephen Lawson first. 124, 12-8. Motion to consolidate. Motion to consolidate. Motion to consolidate. Motion to consolidate. 2004, 2024. Let's see if this one is. Okay, yeah, this is a good one to read through. Okay, good. All right, can y'all see this? Fantastic. All right, so this is the Commonwealth Nelson Circuit Court, Judge Charles C. Sims III. The case number is right here. It's the Commonwealth of Kentucky versus Joseph Lawson. This is a notice motion order electronically filed. It's dated 12/28/2023. And to Shane Young Esquire or his agent. So this is the Commonwealth's attorney. So he's got a public defender. Please take notice that the following motion has been filed on this date, the 28th day of December 2023, to be heard at the pretrial conference on January 5th, 2024 at 1:30 p.m. in the above court. Defendant's motion for reasonable bail and home incarceration. Okay. So comes the defendant, Joseph Lawson, by counsel, Kevin Coleman and Robert Boyd. So that's who's representing him. Pursuant to the 5th, 8th, and 14th Amendments of the United States Constitution, blah, 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 blah. And they are asking the court to set reasonable bail conditions and detain the defendant on home incarceration. In support thereof, the defendant states as follows. An indictment, whatever, Mr. Lawson is charged with tampering with physical evidence, and his bail is set at $50,000 unsecured bond with the condition of continued cooperation with the Commonwealth. In indictment 23 CR 0239, Mr. Lawson is charged with criminal conspiracy to commit murder, and his bail is set as a $500,000 full cash bond. So this is a second charge that he is now being charged with. So first charge is tampering with physical evidence. Now he's being charged with conspiracy to commit murder. The court deemed Mr. Lawson indigent in accordance with the Chapter 31, and he is unable to afford $500,000 to post for his freedom. And then they're quoting that in these two different articles, a criminal defendant who is unable to make bond may petition the court for a review. The purpose of bail is to assure the defendant's appearance in court, protect the community from danger, and to protect the accused against punishment prior to conviction. Mr. Lawson's bail, as presently set, is excessive, oppressive, and amounts to a denial of bail, considering his socioeconomic status, his presumption of innocence, and his anticipated conduct if released. Accordingly, the current bail is not the least onerous conditions reasonably likely to ensure his appearance in this court. Mr. Lawson's anticipated conduct, if released, would be to remain law-abiding, appear before this court, and comply with any additional conditions this court deems necessary, including GPS monitoring via home incarceration. And additionally, Mr. Lawson will reestablish his health insurance, Social Security disability, and seek out ongoing medical treatment. And he is kind of an older dude. Mr. Lawson is not a danger to the community or himself, besides, helping cover up murders or anything. He is paraplegic, unable to voluntarily move the lower parts of his body. His movement is constrained to a wheelchair. Simply put, his paraplegia prevents him from even having the ability to harm another. That's not true. Additionally, if placed on home incarceration, Mr. Lawson's movements would be monitored 24/7. Mr. Lawson is not a flight risk and will appear in this court as required. His paraplegia restricts his independent mobility, which makes him less capable of fleeing. That said, he has no intention of avoiding the jurisdiction of this court and looks forward to mounting his defense against these allegations. Additionally, if placed on home incarceration, Mr. Lawson's movements would be monitored 24/7. His whereabouts would always be known. Mr. Lawson requests the monetary conditions of his bail be reduced to a $50,000 unsecured bond concurrent with, that's the law. Alternatively, he requests a meaningful reduction in his monetary bond that considers his socioeconomic position with bail credit assessment pursuant to. Lastly, as discussed above, Mr. Lawson seeks the modification of his non-financial condition of his bail so that he is placed on home incarceration with GPS monitoring, medical releases, and attorney office visit releases. Wherefore, the defendant moves this court to enter the attached order modifying his bail. This is certified that a copy of the foregoing notice was delivered. Bobbity fucking blobbity blah. Let's see what they say. Motion has been made, and the court being sufficiently advised, it is hereby ordered that the defendant's bail shall be modified on the following conditions. Non-financial conditions of bail. The defendant shall be placed on home incarceration with 24/7 GPS monitoring. He is to be confined at the location of his home incarceration with the following exception: 1, medical releases; 2, attorney office visit releases; and 3, court appearances. The defendant shall remain law-abiding, appear before this court when instructed, and have no contact with the alleged victim's family. Financial conditions of bail is $50,000 unsecured, concurrent with the monetary bond set in Nelson County indictment. And that's signed by the judge. So that was him asking for bail reduction and to be released to house arrest. And apparently he was granted that. Now, he is just a person who was suspected in this case along with Brooks Houck. And Brooks owns a construction firm. They're in a contractor's firm. They're in Bardstown. He is heavily connected within the community, which is why it took so long for this to ever come out. His family is considered a very influential family in the area. They own a lot of things, a lot of businesses, a lot of housing and business offices and all of that. So he's kind of in the good old boys network. It's never been determined what his reasoning would be for killing his girlfriend, wife, whatever she is. It's never been determined why he would decide he wanted to do that, especially on July 4th weekend. I don't know. I don't know if they got into an argument and he got out of hand, and then he basically worked to cover it up, which is what, he's accusing. They're accusing Mr. Lawson of participating in that. I know that his brother Nick worked for the police office at the time. He was an officer, and he has recently been questioned in her father's murder, Tommy Ballard's murder, which was 1 year later, when he was getting too close to the information that they did not want out there. And so this case has been going on since 2015, and they are just now getting arrests and this ball rolling after all these years of investigating this. And it really did not start to pick up traction until the FBI came on scene during COVID. And we were there for part of that. They were digging up this. They dug up a playground, like a park. They dug up several different houses that I believe Brooks was probably, his company was probably the contractor on it. It's been a while since I've come back to this case, but this was the first motion for his co-conspirator, Stephen Lawson, to be have his bail reduced to a reasonable amount for him, and for him to get house arrest. He was able to do so. So let's see here. I'm looking to see what the next one is. What else do we have? All right, we've just got an order to appear. Let me see what this one is. Again, that's just his arrest record. We've already seen that. Now, this one is different because this says 250,000. Hold on, let me go back to this and see what the date on this one is. So this is 12/28/2023. Reasonable bail. Okay, so 12/28/2023. He gets that. Now, this document is from 2/12/2024. Is that Joseph Lawson, though, or Stephen Lawson? Joseph Lawson. So these are the three defendants that are they are trying to consolidate the case for trial, which is Brooks House, Joseph Lawson, and Stephen Eugene Lawson. So one of those is the father, one of those is the son, and then Brooks House is the defendant that they believe actually killed Crystal. This is an order of appearance. Joseph Lawson. Yes, I did say someone was in a wheelchair. One of the, yeah, you love Rowdy, my dog. One of the defendants is wheelchair bound at this point. In 2015, he probably was not. But now that it's 2024, almost 10 years later, he has now ended up in a wheelchair. Yes, and he has health problems. All right, so I wanted to share this one, though, with you because this is rather interesting because they've already reduced the one bail to 50,000, but this one is 250,000. So I'm wondering if this is the other. Yes. Okay. So this one is the other bond. Oh, see here, it tells us the whole thing. Okay. Good. See, I always get ahead of myself. All right, so this is dated 2/12/2024. Can you guys see it? Yeah? Okay, fantastic. All right, and this again is Commonwealth of Kentucky versus Joseph L. Lawson. So on June 21st, 2023, the defendant, Joseph L. Lawson, was indicted for complicity to tampering with physical evidence. See Commonwealth versus James Lawson, Nelson Court indictment. His bond was fixed at $50,000 unsecured on the condition of continued cooperation with the Commonwealth. We had that order. We read that, right? On July 24, 2023, the Nelson County Grand Jury returned the indictment herein, which charged Lawson with criminal conspiracy to commit murder. His bond was fixed at $500,000 cash only. It is the court's understanding that these two cases are related to the disappearance and presumed death of Crystal Rogers. On February 8th, 2024, the parties came before the court for a hearing on Lawson's motion to reduce bond. However, neither party called any witnesses. After considering the arguments from counsel, the court took this matter under submission. The court is now prepared to address and adjudicate this pending issue. When fixing bond, this court must comply with RCR 4.116. The criminal rule specifically contains the following language: the amount of bail shall be sufficient to ensure compliance with the conditions of release set by the court. It shall not be oppressive and shall be commensurate with the gravity of the offenses charged. In determining such amount, the court shall consider the defendant's past criminal acts, if any, the defendant's reasonably anticipated conduct if released, and the defendant's financial ability to give bail. In this case, the defense contends that Lawson is a paraplegic and is not capable of fleeing. They requested the $50,000 unsecured, with Lawson being placed on home incarceration and an inpatient treatment facility. The court is sympathetic to his paraplegic status. It believes a bond of $250,000 is reasonable to assure his appearance. In making this determination, this court has considered the gravity of the conspiracy to commit murder charge, while recognizing that Lawson's pretrial assessment indicates that he is a moderate risk of flight and a moderate risk to reoffend. Now, I want to explain to you, though, he may be of moderate risk. He may be of moderate means, but the person that he is associated with is a multimillionaire family. Then he supposedly did something for them. So let me ask you guys, do you all think that he should be a flight risk, considering that he is attached to this millionaire and this murder? Or do you feel, because he is a paraplegic and he is low income, that he does qualify? Drop it in the chat. What do y'all think of this? Because this is basically them stating, well, he doesn't have the means and he's paraplegic. But the people that he knows are not paraplegics, are not with no means, and are not socioeconomically unprivileged. So tell me what you think. Hey, Toddy, how are you? Thanks for tuning in. Thank you, thank you, thank you. So this is my morning show. Today we're talking about Crystal Rogers and Tommy Ballard. They are they're a mother and father who were gunned down, and well, her father was gunned down, and Crystal's body is still, from what we know, missing in my hometown, or my hometown state. It's just about 30 minutes away from me, of Bardstown. So we're reading his bond hearing here, and this is the guy who is considered to be a co-conspirator with her ex, Brooks House. Okay, so he is facing a potential punishment of up to 25 years in prison if convicted of both conspiracy to commit murder and complicity to commit tampering with physical evidence. Finally, if Lawson is convicted of conspiracy to commit murder, he would have to serve 85% of his sentence before being eligible for parole. And we just went through that with Gypsy in her case. That's why she was allowed to get out with 8 years of the 10-year sentence served. She had served her 85%. The court has also considered Lawson's criminal history. Now, that's not, every state does not have that percentage. It's different state by state, which includes at least 2 felony convictions. Okay, so he's got 2 felony convictions prior to this. He is presently serving a 1-year sentence at the Kentucky State Reformatory for first-degree criminal mischief. Okay, and they list that he was also previously convicted of first-degree possession of methamphetamines. Why am I not surprised? Okay, so there's that case. And finally, the court assumes that Lawson is unable to post any cash or property herein. As grounds, the defense failed to provide any information about Lawson's ability to post same, and the Commonwealth never made any argument about Lawson having access to large financial resources to assist him with an attempted flight. Other than the guy he actually is being charged of committing murder with, he doesn't have any resources. You're right, guys. I assume he didn't have any resources the night that Crystal went missing. You know, that's interesting. So, what does all this mean? The judge has found as follows. The defendant motion to reduce bond is hereby granted. So they are going to go ahead and reduce the bond from $500,000 to $250,000 cash only, with the following conditions: that he is from a dusk to dawn curfew, except for employment and medical emergencies. He has no other violations of the law. He remains drug and alcohol free. He has no contact with the family of Crystal Rogers, either directly or indirectly. He has no contact with any of his co-defendants. So that would mean his son or his, I believe it's his son, or his co-defendant of Brooks Houck, and he cannot travel outside the state. And he has to be monitored by pretrial services. That this order is final and appealable with no just reason for delay, and they stamp off on it. So they've reduced his bail now. Okie dokie, smokies. So that is Joseph Lawson. Yes, Joseph Lawson. I think Stephen Lawson. Joseph Lawson. So Lawson, he must be the more older one, and Stephen must be the younger. Let's see here. What do we got going on? Joseph Lawson. Okay, so we've got Stephen arrested, Joseph arrested. Nope. Nothing in that one. Let's see what's in this. We just read that one. Consolidate. Ooh, this is to consolidate the courses. Okay, let's read this. This is the consolidation. So they are trying to consolidate. This is dated. Let me go ahead and put it back up for you guys to see. We're discussing Crystal Rogers and Tommy Ballard out of Bardstown, Kentucky, though. Alrighty, so now this is the motion to consolidate. So basically, they're trying to consolidate this into one case for all 3 plaintiffs or defendants. Plaintiff is the Commonwealth of Kentucky, obviously. Okay. This was filed on the 21st of March, so it's very, very current. Oh, no, it's saying it will pass through the Commonwealth Special Prosecutor's Office will be on the 21st day of March 24th at 1 p.m. or as soon thereafter, as may be heard. Present the following motion before the Nelson Court. So we have not gotten a ruling on this yet. So basically, this is the argument. The defendant, Brooks Houck, currently is charged with complicity to murder and complicity to tampering with physical evidence. Defendant Joseph Lawson is charged under 23 CR 0183 with complicity to tampering with physical evidence, and under 23 CR 0239 with conspiracy to murder. Defendant Stephen Lawson is charged with 23 CR 0165 with complicity to tampering with physical evidence, and 23 CR 0371 with conspiracy to murder. And I think it's interesting that they all have different numbers here. So these are different laws that they have broken, all with the same kind of actual charges. So tampering and conspiracy. All the charges arise from the same series of actions. Pursuant to the RCR 9.12, the court may join two or more indictments and defendants if they could have been joined in a single indictment. Provides the standard for joining defendants in a single indictment. That rule provides that two or more defendants may be charged in the same indictment, information, or complaint if they are alleged to have participated in the same act or transaction or in the same series of acts or transactions constituting an offense or offenses. RCR 6.18 provides the standard for joinder of offenses. Under that rule, two or more offenses may be charged in the same indictment or information if the offenses are based on the same acts or transactions connected together or constituting parts of a common scheme or plan. So basically, they decided to do some bad shit together. That's what we're basically at. We are going to be talking about it a lot, guys. So I'm really excited to start from the beginning and go over this with you. Right now, I'm just reading some of the motions that have been filed in this court case, and then I will be going back and starting over for you guys. You guys will get my recorded videos next week of the beginning of this case and trying to unpack it for you. It is a case that is close to my heart. It is very close to my hometown. It's about 30 minutes away from me. So Stephen and Joseph Lawson are charged in two separate indictments with complicity to tampering with physical evidence and with conspiracy to murder. These offenses all arise from a series of acts which constitute part of a common scheme or plan. The allegation surrounding all the defendants in this matter is that they acted in concert to accomplish the murder of Crystal Rogers and to dispose of evidence which would conceal the murder. The Lawsons and Houck acted together by participating in the same acts or transactions constituting the offenses of murder and tampering with physical evidence. The facts and evidence surrounding the crimes they are accused of committing are identical, overlapping, and would be admissible if they were tried together or separately. As all of the offenses and each of the defendants could have been charged in the same indictment, joinder is appropriate for the purpose of the trial. When considering whether to join offenses and the defendant for the purposes of the trial, the court is vested with wide discretion. They go on to name a couple of precedented cases. In order to entitle a defendant to severance, a defendant must demonstrate that joinder would be unduly prejudicial. Presidential. Goodness. My brain is not working completely yet. I have not eaten enough today. So Commonwealth versus Rogers, our court has recognized a certain degree of prejudice is inherent in the joinder of offense. They go on and give another one. However, neither antagonistic defenses nor the fact that the evidence for or against one defendant incriminates the other amounts by itself to unfair prejudice. Another citing of another precedent. At this point in the proceeding, the Commonwealth cannot speculate as to what prejudice the defendants may allege they will suffer as a result of joinder. The facts upon which the special grand jury relied are the same for each defendant. The special grand jury returned a true bill that reflected defendants Houck and the Lawsons were all involved in the murder of Crystal Rogers that occurred on July 3rd or 4th of 2015. A joint trial will ensure the petit jury be given the complete picture of what occurred during that time frame and the involvement of each defendant, as stated by Kentucky Supreme Court in Commonwealth versus Ware. A good deal of tripe has grown up around the question of what sort of prejudice should entitle a defendant to a separate trial. Perhaps the rule itself is not sufficiently explicit. Prejudice means unfairly prejudiced. That's different. Defendants alleged to have been involved in the same transaction have conflicting conflicting versions of what took place or the extent to which they participated in it, vel non, is a reason for rather than against a joint trial. If one is lying, it is easier for the truth to be determined if all are required to be tried together. In making this request for joinder, the Commonwealth is aware of its duty to comply with all rules of evidence and the requirements regarding admissibility of statement under Burton versus United States, blah, blah, blah. The evidence will be presented by the Commonwealth to the petit jury will be identical as it relates to each defendant. As of the time of this filing, all the defendants have filed motion for change of venue. I have all those. A change of venue, and they did get a change of venue, would constitute an additional reason to hold a joint trial. The logistics of moving a case of this nature and size would be monumental. Requiring multiple trials in another venue would certainly be a waste of judicial resources, I agree, when the cases involve the same facts surrounding the same events. Wherefore, the Commonwealth respectfully requests the above styled actions be consolidated for the purpose of trial. Let's see what they said. Yep. And they go ahead and grant it. So upon motion of the Commonwealth and the court being duly and sufficiently advised, it is hereby ordered that the above styled matters are consolidated for the purpose of the trial by jury. And that's dated 3/13/2024. So that's where we're at right now with Lawson. And now it has gone over to become the Houck case. So let's see what we've got going on here. This is the filing. Let me see if this is. Nope, that's just the filing. We just got some today, so I'm trying to see. And the change of venue, which is really funny, it was changed from Bardstown, which is another county, to Oldham County, which is the county that I just lived in. I was in that county for a while. We lived in that county for 10 years. I know exactly where the courthouse is, and that is where this is going on. Now, if my car had not decided to take a shit, I would have been at this every single day. But because of that, they're trying to disqualify judges. They've been trying to do several different things here, but basically where we're at right now is this is in the court and we are waiting for the trial to commence, and I will be updating as I can. I will be going over these documents one by one with you guys. But just a quick and easy, look of this case. This is Crystal Rogers and Tommy Ballard out of Bardstown, Kentucky. The link to all of our files that we have collected under the FOIA Act and working with the Nelson County clerk will be available in our Patreon. They are being updated every single day that we get a new one. I put them in there. So if you're wanting to follow along with this case and see all the process as it goes, because I have from the first second that they arrested someone to here where we are now in trial. And so we've got all those documents and there's a shit ton of them. So it'd be great for you guys to go on over. They are on the $5 level. Okay. And as I said before, we are working that we will have an announcement by Sunday on some medical records in Gypsy's case and a couple of other things that we think are going to really blow that case wide open. And we hope that you guys will be joining in with us on that. That will be live over here on YouTube and Facebook at the same time. Today, I was unable to do Facebook. I'm so very sorry. This will be posted up to there. Yes, by Sunday. We will have this all ready for you. We're very excited about it. It's some new findings that Colleen and I and Dr. Steele and Sarah have been working on. And it is a doozy. I can tell you that right now. Total doozy. So, thank you guys for tuning in and dishing true crime with the Good Wives. Don't forget to join our Patreon, which is patreon.com/goodwivesnet. You can also go to the Good Wives Network for awesome merch and more details. You'll be able to find the coffee mugs, shirts, our coffee. Eventually, we'll have our wine up on there and all of the good stuff. We'll have our makeup line and our earrings. We've got so much merch that we designed for you guys over the last couple of years that we have just not been able to really promote or get out there. So I'm super excited about it now that you guys are able to start to see some of this cool merchandise that we have created over the years, me and especially Christina. And so thank you guys for joining me this morning and dishing true crime with the Good Wives. Don't forget to join our Patreon member club to get exclusive mini episodes, inside documents and pictures from the case, live YouTube discussions, our exclusive discussion group on Facebook, and get some amazing Good Wives merch. Follow us on Twitter, Instagram at GoodWivesNet. And for more information, check out our podcast, The Good Wives Guide to True Crime, on any of your favorite podcast players. Have a good one from The Good Wives, dishing up true crime one dish at a time. Bye, guys.